Hi everyone, I'm Anna Del Toro, and I'm here to talk to you about Ellebit. Ellebit helps individuals reserve with ease. Have you ever attended a really wonderful restaurant and had a great event there? If you did, the best part about it is that you concentrate on the company and the food and beverage. But you don't have to worry about all of the details that went into executing that event that a planner or a restaurant would have to worry about. And if you ask any of those individuals if it was quick and easy to plan an event like that, they would answer with a resounding no. I know this from personal experience. I worked as an in-house event planner for Perkins Coie LLP for the last 10 years and managed a team of planners. We planned multi-day events in various cities and booked private dining and restaurants all the time. My partner, Kathleen Cow, is a business operations and marketing professional, and she also has experienced this. And together we understand when a process like this works and when it doesn't, which is why we want to talk to you about the big issue of private dining. The big problem is that it's a very complex process and it takes a lot of time. It's 35 steps. I'll save you from reading them all. But essentially, an individual that wants to book a private dining space, so that's those back rooms. It's not like a traditional table and semi-private space, so those are the ones partitioned by like a curtain or like a little barrier. Those spaces often sit empty, and so restaurants rely on individuals to do web searches or to find them through word of mouth. And the planners that are looking for those types of spaces have to do the same thing. They spend a lot of time online looking to find those venues, and then when they finally do, you have to call and email the restaurant to check availability and rates, and then once that's contracted, it's a ton of time and effort to secure all of the details. All of it's a completely manual process. The team of planners, it's not progressing actually. For some reason it moved to the Zoom. Thank you. Sorry, did those online? Okay, so I talked to you a little bit about that process, and as we get this up, the team of planners and I that manage this, spent 15 minutes per inquiry. So that's the time researching the venue and then figuring out, do they want you to fill out a form? Do they want you to call? Do they want you to email somebody? And then putting all the information that we have about the event in that format. And then we would contact 70 restaurants a month, and that's per person. We each contacted about 70 restaurants per month. And that was about 20 hours, and that's to secure 5 events. It was a ton of time and a ton of effort. And the restaurant side deals with similar numbers. They get planners spamming them, just trying to find a space. And then they're responding to all these inquiries that may or may not come to fruition. So I want to talk to you about Ellebit. That's our solution. It's an online booking platform for restaurants to showcase their space, put all the event details in one format, easy to find, and for planners to find them, view availability in real time, secure all of the menu and event details, all without picking up the phone or sending an email, which is amazing. This is a preview of our Drupal platform beta. And what we do is we take that 35-step process and simplify it into 6 steps. And that's all using technology. Now that you understand the problem and our solution, what we're targeting is the full-service restaurant industry. So that's restaurants with kitchens that serve individuals and then people that wait on those individuals. Initially, we're planning to focus on the Seattle market with a plan to hit 17% of that market and then scale to 35. And in year 3, we're actually planning to scale to major meeting convention cities. But that's not the only market we're serving. We're also serving planners. The planning industry is a little more diverse, though. In this case, it crosses industries. There are all kinds of titles that are booking these and third parties that are booking these types of events on behalf of corporations. And this market, since it's really diversified, I want to talk to you about the difference in the restaurant margins. So on average, a restaurant that's booking, like if you're making an open table reservation, it's about 10% that the restaurant's making on that individual reservation. But these types of private bookings are about 40% at the highest. And so we're talking about a lot more opportunity. And in addition to that, we want to focus on this area because we're splitting our pricing model. So most competitors in market are just charging the restaurant and they're totally cutting into the restaurant margins, and restaurant margins are tight. And they've been hit harder because of COVID than any other industry, I would say. And so as we look at this, we're gonna focus on helping the restaurant increase the revenue of those parties, and we're only gonna charge them for the percent that we can increase, so we're charging on upsells, and a flat monthly technology fee of $30 so that we can keep our subscriptions high. And then we're charging the patrons, so the buyers, because they have a technology solution that's saving them a ton of time, 10% on the total booking. So you might be thinking, will customers be willing to pay for this? And we surveyed planners to see if they would. 90% of the planners we surveyed said they would be willing to pay for the service. And here's what they're saying about it. They can't believe that it could be that efficient to plan an event, or that they could save that time. They would 1,000% use the tool. And then we went to third parties and said, would you be comfortable using this for your clients? And they said they would. And so this is all of the survey feedback. And now that you've kind of seen a little bit of what the traction is there, I want to talk to you a little bit about the competitors in the market. 6plus, Talk, and OpenTable are the primary competitors. 6plus is the only company that's targeting private event dining. They don't streamline the booking process though. They just do the online catering menu process. Talk is focused on individual reservations, and so really what theirs is like experiences, so doing a chef's table or something like that. And OpenTable is primarily for booking individual reservations in the main dining area, but they do have an intake form for groups. And that intake form still relies on the restaurant to contact the person back that has the inquiry, and then none of the process is automated. We plan to go to market initially by partnering with 2 to 3 local Seattle restaurants. And what we'll do in that partnership is offer a free version of our website and try to gain initial traction and understanding of how the features are working for everybody involved and make improvements. And then in year 1, we want to launch a premium version. And that premium version would ideally have all of the features, and it wouldn't be used through the restaurant website, it would actually be our platform. We would then expand into other features. So our restaurants have told us that like offering offsite catering would be really helpful, where people could drive up and pick things up and take them to an office, or that it would be really great if we could also expand to non-restaurant venues. So like wineries and breweries that offer catering and food and beverage and have these spaces, and then spend a lot of time processing the bookings. We also want to offer a waitlist feature so that when cancellations come in, which sometimes groups can cancel up until 72 hours before without penalty, to quickly slot in another group, because what we know is that there's a lot of demand for these spaces, but if you call a place and here they don't have availability, they're often not logging your name and information to say, hey, did you find a venue? We'd love to bring you in, we now have this space available. So those are all features we'd like to launch between year 2 and year 4, and then we want to scale to major meeting convention cities in year 3. Here's how we're going to do that. So first, direct sales and marketing. That's probably one of the most effective ways to reach out to different groups, and we'll do that by partnering with restaurants that we know, and then penetrating industry networks through trade shows, going to industry events for both planners and for restaurants, doing online campaigns, because what we know is that you need to be searchable and easy to find, and then scaling. Here's a little preview of our financials. What we're going to do is initially focus on bookings. So you'll see in green on the bottom, we're focusing on 150 bookings for year 1. In year 2, we'll break even. In year 3, we would plan to scale. And then in year 4 and year 5, we're targeting 1,400 bookings and getting $4 million in net income. We're focusing on bookings rather than individual customers for one reason, and it's because the number of customers doesn't really matter as long as we're hitting booking targets, because a planner that may be at Amazon might be booking hundreds of events in a week or in a month, or passing it on to customers when they're having a conference and they need help with bookings. But an individual might be just planning one party a year, so we're really concentrating on the booking aspect of this. We have a really great advisory board. They're diversified across industries and the planning process. So we have restaurants, we have entrepreneurs, we have hotels that have venues and space that they want to sell. And that's really been wonderful, but we also need help. We need $250,000 in funding to take our clickable prototype into a beta. And we also need advisors to help us grow. We're event planners, we're not finance people, we're not coders. We do need that help. And here are the reasons you should believe in us. We've built a clickable prototype. We understand the problems, and we've done surveys to understand our customer needs and where their gaps and concerns and considerations are. We've developed a plan to address some of those issues and figure out solutions. In addition to that, we built documents and templates and surveys. So we really hope that you will help us to make Ellebit a reality and make the dining and booking process simple and easy for everyone. Thank you. been nervous about Q&A, so please go easy on me.
Terrific. Someone who attends a lot of events, I can see an opportunity here for sure. Wasn't clear on your financials, so you said 66.5 million and 1,400 bookings, and that's like $4,500 per booking?
I think it's 4 million. I might have just said the wrong number. So
you had 6.5 million, this is like 4 years out, based on 1,400 bookings.
Oh yeah, there are a couple of elements on how we would charge. First, we're working to help restaurants increase their revenue. And I'll try to answer all of the elements of your question, but it might be a little more complex. So we want to do a couple things with our site. First, we want to create an even platform for everyone to have capability of booking. We don't want to like showcase certain restaurants where they can pay a ton to be moved to the top of the results. We really want to make it easy for planners and those to find based upon features and make everything equal. But we do want to offer a number of feature ads and other elements in the website that can sort of help drive our revenue. Additionally, we are really focused on our upsell business because we know this is going to help the restaurants and it's going to help us because we're taking a percentage of the restaurant upsells, not just like a flat percentage of their profit. And so when we talk about an upsell at a restaurant, what I mean is like they may have a package, and that package is that it's $100 for the meal, and then their bar package is $10 per drink. But you can buy instead a nicer package that offers a premium alcohol and a premium mocktail, and those give the restaurant a lot more revenue without a lot more investment of time. And so we really want to focus, and that's one of the things that we looked at is like, how do we increase visibility of those offerings that are normally just on a piece of paper and rely on the patron to say, oh, I'll spend $2 more per cocktail, that's fine. So we'll focus on a lot of those different areas. That's how we got to those revenue figures. Be happy to share them, but I'm also not the finance person. Is there anything I missed to add?
I think that's, you covered a lot of it. I think in addition to that, when we're looking at the booking numbers, I think we have to think of it as we're not just talking about just booking itself, we also have to add additional upsell and also the clickable items that we are adding to the revenue. So not just the booking dollar amount, which is at $4,500. We're subscriptions, and then we also have like the clickable aspect of it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So I think it makes a ton of sense, and would love to chat with you afterward about how I can try to be helpful. In terms of some of the numbers you shared about the size of the market, the number of full-service restaurants, do you have a sense of like what percentage of full-service restaurants offer private dining or semi-private dining options? And then kind of related to that, I was looking at your first milestone around hitting 150 bookings. You'd mentioned prior to that, that in your first year or before your first year, I can't remember, wanting to start with 2 to 3 restaurants. How many restaurants do you think you need to get to 150 bookings?
Oh yeah, we have a high, medium, and low growth model on restaurants and like pulling those restaurants. Kathleen can click through to pull that up. You asked one question before that, though. I want to make sure I address that as well.
Just trying to understand kind of what the available inventory is beyond just the number of full-service restaurants, those that specifically are offering private or semi-private.
Yes. On initial Google search, I think it's like 2,500 restaurants just in the Seattle area that offer it, and those are just the ones that are advertising their private space. There are tons of them that have these private spaces, and you kind of just have to know that they're there or hope that you can find them. And then as far as the actual restaurants, so we did high is starting with 75 restaurants in year 1, medium 61, and then low is 16. And then we created alternative financials depending on how many we could get to try to figure out what our acquisition cost would be for customers and how much we could get financially. Does that help answer your question? Wonderful, thank you. Any other questions we can answer?
I just have a quick one. I like the idea, and God bless event planners.
Thank you, it's real stressful.
Yes. How easy would it be to bolt on, let's say, just plain old event spaces with the different features that the event spaces offer?
So how easy is it to, sorry?
Bolt on, I guess we're out of time.
Thank you so much, I'm sorry I didn't get to answer your bell.